I'm actually genuinely kind of surprised. Tencent Games officially killed Final Fantasy XIV Mobile. This was arguably one of the most anticipated MMORPG releases in years. Not because it was a mobile game, but instead because it was officially endorsed by Yoshi P himself, but also at the same time provided a cross-platform experience for the game, for a game that graphically could definitely support it. This was a faithful one-to-one recreation of the original Final Fantasy. It just provided a mobile experience and allowed for people to play it on mobile without a subscription fee. Now, this also means that you could have played this on PC as well without a subscription fee. So it's essentially and effectively a free-to-play version of the pay-to-play MMO Final Fantasy XIV, which is more mobile elements, I think. I don't know exactly the degree of pay-to-win that the game was, or how much toned down or how inferior the game was in terms of mechanics or in terms of challenge. Nevertheless, a lot of people were very excited for this, and also due to the fact that there were more features, more hairstyles, more everything involved in the game. It was essentially a more polished version of Final Fantasy XIV, which is also very surprising given the fact that it is a mobile game, or at the very least, it is mobile crossplay compatible. Navigating on over to the official Final Fantasy XIV Mobile.com website, you will see that a service termination announcement has been made. It does state that this was officially licensed and supervised by Square Enix themselves. Service termination announcement for Final Fantasy XIV Mobile, the Chinese edition. So I will also point out here, this game never released globally, which is surreal. That is actually unbelievable. This is a game that was developed for China, sure, but also with global in mind. And it released in China and it shut down within a year. That's unbelievable. Was it because it just wasn't very good? Was it because there are other games in China that are just better or more popular than the Final Fantasy intellectual property? I don't know. Thank you for your support for Final Fantasy XIV Mobile, Chinese edition, as always. On the launch day of Final Fantasy XIV Mobile in the Chinese mainland, we said resonate with the light and blaze as one, and promised that the adventure had just begun. Over this time, it is you who have truly brought mobile Eorzea to life. Every suggestion you shared on gameplay, experiences, and features guided us to build the game world. Seasoned warriors of light stepped up as mentors, walking newcomers through the confusion of their first steps into Eorzea. And countless mornings and nights spent fighting side by side came together to form the vast, warm community we once envisioned together. To have resonated with all of you adventurers on this journey has been the greatest fortune of this world we built together, and a memory we will always treasure. Today, however, we must regretfully share an important announcement. Due to adjustments in business operations and changes in the market environment, I wonder if that means that MMOs are just becoming less popular in China, like they are pretty much everywhere around the world. Tencent and Square Enix have, through amicable negotiation, decided to terminate the licensing agreement for Final Fantasy XIV Mobile, the Chinese edition. We're sorry to announce it will officially stop the game operation for Final Fantasy XIV Mobile Chinese edition in the Chinese mainland on September 30th, 2026. Now, if you go to Google and type in the Final Fantasy XIV Mobile Chinese release date, it looks like it launched originally in China on June 19th, 2025. To everyone who has journeyed with us until now, we sincerely apologize that we must end this service without being able to fully live up to your expectations. At the same time, we wish to express our heartfelt gratitude to all of you who have supported us along the way. Thank you truly from the bottom of our hearts. To everyone who has been looking forward to the global version, we also offer our sincere apologies for being unable to meet your expectations. So they confirm global is no longer being worked on, and you know what, that makes sense. I mean, how would you work on the global version of the game when the original version of the game, which is the Chinese version of the game, is no longer operable, is no longer being actively developed? But at the same time, you have to wonder, would this have done better if it were to have released globally rather than in China, or globally concurrently with China, as opposed to China first and then global, I don't know, as an afterthought? I mean, Final Fantasy XIV is most popular in Japan and global, and very, very popular globally. It's one of the two most popular global MMOs in the world. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. A mobile compatible version that is completely free to play, that is a game that a lot of people globally would have played. A lot of people globally were interested in this. The subreddits have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of members. The YouTube channels have hundreds of thousands of views. It has been talked about more than any other upcoming mobile MMO. This right here had the chance and potential to be so big, but they just screwed themselves over. And again, I don't even know why. They literally just stated that it was due to business operations adjustments and changes in the market environment. So just MMOs are not as popular, I guess. Service termination scheduled July 17th. In-game top-ups and new user registrations will be suspended. September 30th, the game operations will officially cease. October 15th, forums and dedicated customer support will be closed and everything will be wiped and nothing will be accessible anymore. Except as otherwise required by laws and regulations or otherwise agreed in the agreement between Tencent and users, will delete the account data, character information, and other related data of players who registered and played in the Chinese mainland in accordance with the personal information protection law after the game's servers are shut down. There are 76 days remaining until the service ends. To accompany everyone through this final journey in Final Fantasy XIV Mobile, the Chinese edition, our team will do our best. Thank you again for the support. This, oh my god, this is actually like, this is wild. Even mobile MMOs designed literally for the largest market in all of gaming, mobile players and mobile devices still cannot find a way to survive and thrive. On the contrary, they're all just doing terribly and shutting down. I mean, this is why so many, even just mobile MMOs and MMO developers have pivoted to something different. Survival games, multiplayer games, gacha games, they're all more profitable for the most part than PC or console MMOs. And even in this instance, evidently, mobile MMOs. Now, again, this could have been very good, very fun, or even if you didn't like it or I didn't like it, it could have offered another outlet for players that cannot play Final Fantasy XIV on PC. It could have persuaded people who played the mobile version that wanted to play like a more full or complete version or a PC version that's more, maybe more polished or more difficult or more challenging, the option to. They could have converted on over from being a mobile player to a PC or a console player. This right here is just a slap in the face to global players, A, because we don't get to play it, and also B, the Final Fantasy XIV IP, because so much time and effort went into advertising this. Yoshi P himself, Square Enix, they poured so much effort and time into just marketing this and trying to sell people on the fact that it was actually a Final Fantasy XIV game. But at the end of the day, it just failed. It flopped, and this is just ultimately another MMO to join the graveyard of MMOs. Unfortunately, it just so happens to have the Final Fantasy moniker and the Final Fantasy XIV name. It's unfortunate, but I mean, hey, what can you do? I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.